I have seen clips of this, ladies and gentlemen, and it became very highly recommended whenever we asked around what anime we should watch. But unfortunately, a lot of the requests came after our poll had actually closed, so we couldn't actually put it on the list. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That being said,
and yet we're still watching it for some reason.
Because honestly, I want Jacob in on this because it's a show that deals with science, the foundations and the building blocks of science as humans found it and as humans have built up. And honestly, I just want to see what he thinks, and I also want to get your take on it, Nick, because a lot of people have said this show is awesome. And
well,
let's
see this.
Yeah.
How hard can these people get?
Oh God! Look, the name of the show is Doctor. Yeah, the name of the show is Dr. Stone. Yeah.
Dr. Rock.
Apparently, some catastrophic event happened that forced the world to pretty much like have the people in it freeze into stone. And yeah, apparently humanity's trying to carry on. And I guess we're about to see how the hell this all happened. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Thanks, but no thanks, Senku. I gotta do this my way.
That could have been real expensive. They just handed it back to him and then said thanks.
Whoa, are you serious? You made a love potion?
Come on, use your brain. It's gasoline. We refined it from plastic bottle caps.
Yeah, think about what would happen after time went by.
I know I do! This could go on for weeks, or even months! I'm gonna tell Yuzuriha what my true feelings are! I'm gonna survive this, even if it kills me!
Yeah, that would suck.
So, like, you're still alive?
Apparently.
You maintain your consciousness, apparently.
Sounds fucking awful.
You're telling me,
that
man.
sounds like the worst punishment in the world.
It's like you're stone, and you last for thousands of years, but
Can't move.
you cannot move. You can do no actions or anything.
How does it keep changing positions?
The earth is just growing around him.
He was on his back, now he's on his front. What? Really?
Didn't really think this one through, huh?
Crap, it's her!
Not to mention that's obviously the
Of course it has a
status of
panty shot.
It's not really panties, that's underskirt.
So silly. It's embarrassing.
No,
It's the lace.
Didn't look
But
like
why
it.
that shot?
Of course
I don't know.
Like,
Stupid like this, my
I don't know.
out of nowhere. Just my luck. Why are you here?
I'm not hating or anything. It's
Guess I'm a big
kind
old
of funny.
dummy, too.
Well, you gotta think, I mean, in terms of like,
Help him.
Target audience too.
yeah, shonen. It's a shonen show.
Don't laugh at me.
You were my light shining in the darkness for hundreds, even thousands of years.
You gotta think, would she be aware of him right now? And would she be able to hear what he's saying or doing?
But I never got to finish.
Well, yeah, he was apparently there
I was
hearing
gonna tell you
everything.
that day.
Well, look who's finally awake. Good morning, Big O.
Senku, you're alive too! Don't you dare hug me while you're butt naked! I'm not joking!
It's October 5th. 116,427,065,530 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I have way too much ADD for that.
So that whole time you were frozen, you just counted?
Even if I had willed myself awake before then, being out here.
Yeah, people who have eidetic memories
flies in
can,
winter would have meant
you know,
game over pretty
can count
quick.
very high and
Realized
maintain
I would
multiple
have to start
processes
things
in their
up the
mind.
springtime. You were so hell-bent on confessing your love, and for a guy as stubborn as you, even a few thousand years wouldn't stop you from making that happen. You aren't that weak.
Yeah. Of course I'm not.
Back into the Stone Ages we go.
I love shit like that, though.
You can leave the heavy lifting to me. No problem.
Spent so much time on Boy Scouts preparing how to survive in the woods. Not once have I ever had to survive in the woods.
Gotta be honest, like, even though I know the survival skills, I'm a weak-ass son of a bitch. If that shit happened to me, as soon as I walk up out of the stones, I'd probably kill myself. Just be like, nah, not worth it.
We're gonna rebuild civilization from the ground up. You and I will be like Adam and Eve. Together we'll bring life back to this stone world. This is exhilarating. Get excited.
I think it'd be funny if you say, we're going to be like Adam and Steve.
I've been conscious for 3,000 years. I don't think I need any more time than that.
Huh?
Have a real life cheat code for stamina?
I guess I'm selfish too, because I wouldn't want to rebuild humanity, but I'll be like, dude, I've been conscious for 3,000 years. Not able to move. I don't need any more time
Oh yeah, I
than
think
that.
realistically, besides obviously lack of nutrition and dying, yeah, that you would go into like the solitary confinement for 20 years would just render you brain dead, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think your brain would be right when you came back
No.
out of that.
We drifted up near here. It would make sense that this cave factored in somehow. See that? The stuff trickling from overhead? That's our miracle fluid.
That's what I was thinking since the beginning of it. I was
So it
like,
dropped on him when it cracked off of the same place it dripped on. So
I did anticipate that question.
I mean the part about liquor. Wine comes from grapes, yeah? And that is a type of alcohol.
You just have to
isn't it?
ferment them, yes.
Not bad, you picko.
I found a big ass barley field.
Well, barley's not native in Japan. I don't think so, anyway.
Yeah, we'll have you handle all the neck down work from here on out. That's just the logical choice. We get arrested for not having a license. It's been 3
I think
weeks.
Micah would dig this too, because that's very libertarian.
Thought of something. Underage drinking's a crime too.
Not a problem. After all, we're both a little over 3,700 years old.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ha-ha! So drink up.
People back in ancient Mesopotamia were doing this with clay pots in 3000 BC. And if they can do it, then so can we. Now get excited, Taija!
oh,
Yeah, you're gonna need something a little stronger than basic clay. Just a little bit. Either that or you're gonna have to make the walls thicker. A rigorous, tried and true testing. I mean, sick beard, bro. Oh, God. Oh. Ooh. They may have found
Oh, it's
it.
not over? I thought
They
that
may
was
have
like
found
ending
it.
credit.
Well, yeah, but I think
Listen up, Big O. Lesson 1. It's not that there are things science can't explain. Not in the least. There are rules behind everything that happens. Science is just the name for the steady, pain-in-the-ass effort that goes into finding out what they are.
he did it. Or they did it. They found it.
Wonder what was the secret?
The proper mix. The proper mixture of nitric acid.
Actually didn't take as long as I'd imagined.
Oh.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Nidal.
I'm gonna beat fantasy.
yeah, Nidal.
Science is my only weapon. Oh yeah. Get excited.
just doesn't entirely make sense that without doing any kind of mixture, it got them out of there.
Well,
Was it just over a ridiculously long period of time of them being exposed to that?
Yeah, I mean,
Eventually,
I
yes.
learned that those concepts aren't realistic, but like it's kind of cool just seeing how they're trying to make science save the world again. You know, so
Well,
because I always thought that too. I was like, what would you do if you was stuck if you went back a couple thousands of years?
Stone Ages, yeah.
Yeah, but you knew what you still knew about the future and everything. Would you be able to rebuild some of that stuff? And fact is, most people can't. But that's why I started like studying stuff like that, like crafts and stuff, because it's just interesting. Because
Well-
basically, all you got to do at first is make tools.
Yeah.
As long as you can make tools and then know how to use them, you can survive.
Well, yeah, you can survive, but in order to truly march humanity forward and advance civilization, you have to pass on the knowledge in some way, and you have
Yeah, sure.
you have to have recurring, you have to have recurring things that can teach people these things, crafts, and being able to just make something palatable so that even a basic primate can understand.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Well, he's already done the world's hardest stuff for you, math.
yeah.
There you go. That's. I mean,
Well,
once
getting
you get,
the number, well,
once you
getting
get
the
math
numbers.
down and know how to write in an actual written language, you've already advanced 10,000 years into humanity, or actually probably 100,000 years in humanity.
Well, yeah, because written language, hell, speaking language.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. A unified speaking language. That's something very, very difficult to process and put together and everything.
Scientific method didn't come out till damn late 1800s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got to think in the 2 million year, as far as we know, history of humanity.
I mean,
that's
humanity has evolved like such a slow pace for like hundreds of thousands of years, and then it's like you get right up, then boom, spikes.
well, yeah,
It
you
just
have
straight
spikes.
up spikes, and
Well, you have
or
spikes in creativity, and you have spikes in ingenuity, and that's
once
it
the
really
industrial revolution hit, and then the electronic revolution hit, it's like, oh,
and then
here
the
we go.
digital revolution, and
Yeah.
now it's just
Now it's
we're
gone
in full
crazy.
swing.
We're in full swing with it. Tech houses, tech cars, tech plane. Everything's just tech.
Yeah, and
it's
it's
like,
it's
damn.
crazy to think how far we've come within the last 20 years,
Yeah.
let alone the last.
I'll be sitting there trying to figure out how to smelt copper, so for conductivity, and then finding batteries around the world. And like, hey, how can we recharge this? I'll be like searching around the world for like solar panels, trying to charge batteries, and like some of the old electronics that are still around, because some of that stuff will last forever.
Well, it
you know?
will, but at the same time, I mean, 3,700 years going by, the world map literally changing as it has throughout thousands of
Be
years.
digging.
Yeah, you would have to dig to
Dig a
find
lot,
some of those
yep.
things.
I'm pretty sure that if I'm like one of the last people left and have to rebuild shit myself, I'll starve to death in the first winter. I just haven't learned enough about how to properly form shit, and I wouldn't know how much to do and how much energy to expend in order to get the returns I need to continue to survive.
The only
I'm
thing
pretty sure I'd be
for you to
fucked.
survive, the basics are food, water, shelter.
Food's where I would die. I could hunt and stuff, but I'm out of shape already. By the time I got back in shape enough to
Trapping is
hunt,
a
I'd
lot more
probably
effective
be
than
fucked
hunting.
on that.
Yes, trapping.
Trapping is way more
Yeah.
effective than hunting and doesn't require a lot of energy.
No.
And you
Actually,
just set your
building
traps
an
up every day.
effective trap and shit is a little easier said than done too, though, and you have to have something to bait it with a lot of the times.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
if
it's
you get
just-
well,
Oh, well, it's as much as digging a hole, covering it up, and setting the bait, let it fall in the hole, stab it when it gets in there. Same thing with like fishing. You can fish pretty easily. Now, if you didn't have rope and you just had a spear, fish have a bubble eye. So like when you're above the water, they don't really see you unless you're close. So all you have to do is you can spear them down or create a gate. You know.
Bad thing about fish too, though, is you can only eat so much fish at a time before you get mercury poisoning. So,
Oh, maybe.
but yeah, fish would probably be my first go-to, and then I would probably either end up getting mercury poison at a point from the fish, or just starving to death because I didn't have anything alternative to eat from the fish.
I mean, who's to say, man? I mean, there's
There's a lot of different methods. You'll have to eat what you get. Of course, there's the whole vegetarian route. Of course, that involves knowing plants and gardens and stuff like that, which at that point in time, you're just kind of screwed. But they found grapes
That's
from
what I'm
trees.
saying. Once it hits
Yeah.
winter, I'd be kind of fucked. So
Got to stock
you
up,
have to
yeah.
basically learn how to grow grain and like stuff that you can keep through the winter to eat during the winter to make it to the next like warm time when you can actually go out in the cold and hunt again and there are no animals around.
There's ways of doing it. There are.
Oh yeah, no, they are. I'm just saying I don't know what enough of them are. I'd be fucked.
Well, the best thing you can do is find a cave.
Yeah.
That way it's pretty much the same temperature all year round.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. That way that gets rid of your climate. You don't have to worry about freezing to death or I mean it's gonna be cold, but you're not gonna freeze to death. And then, of course you can just make that your home base and kind of go out and know your perimeters, set bait, make those animals come to you. Now, if you got big animals though, like wolves and stuff, you're shit without numbers because they won't attack you.
That's when you need to seek shelter in like trees, because even a basic like 10 feet off the ground up in a tree will do you wonders. The only things that can fuck with you up there are like bears and cats, which bears, the one thing about them is most bears they won't come near you, but cats on the other hand, cats where they have a naturally inquisitive way about them, they may very well come and pester you. But
it's one of those things like if you're hanging out by yourself, your chances of getting a predator come in and kill you is a lot higher. But that's why like wolves, they always had that pack mentality. They'd wait for one of you to stray away or one of you lag behind or something. They would study you and kind of watch, and then they disrupt too. They send a whole pack in there just to disrupt you.
Which is why it's very important to have a warrior class, like at least have some basic understanding of how to defend yourself, but also having people. Like Joe Rogan had this great point. It's like when it all comes down to it, and a fight breaks out in this country, who are you going to turn to? You're going to turn to Claude from San Bernardino, whose only concern is who can make the perfect venti latte, or how about Chet from Texas, who bar fights every weekend and knows how to handle himself.
Coffee would be really nice.
Yeah. But in a fight, who would you go with?
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, in a fight, I'm going with Chet.
Also, if I was in these guys' situations, like, I don't know exactly how this works, but if it preserves your current, like, chemical makeup and the chemical makeup of your brain and everything exactly in the state that it was, I would also come out of the stone, and then it would be a matter of about half a day before I start to get really sick from nicotine withdrawal and caffeine withdrawal. And I would have a bad fucking first couple of days.
Making your own cigarettes. You have to find a tobacco farm.
If there's any left, yeah.
I'm sure they're still out there. They'd just be overgrown like a fucking forest.
Yeah, tobacco. Imagine gigantic tobacco leaves the size of a door.
I'd be searching the world for a marijuana patch. I swear I would be. You had to giant marijuana.
Just go to Colorado, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if I know what a tobacco plant looks like for sure. I don't know if I can pick one out. Yeah.
Oh, you really? They're pretty.
I'm super familiar with them.
Yeah, they're pretty indistinguishable. So or distinguishable.
Yeah,
it's like a marijuana leaf. You'll know it when you spot it,
and you'll smell it too.
Yeah,
you'll smell the.
If you rub your hands up against too much tobacco, you can get that tobacco on you. Plus, if you try to smoke just a raw tobacco leaf,
you'd be done.
You'd be done.
Yeah, you'd be pumped up, which is why they always dry them out, and then they pulverize them pretty much.
I think I'd probably rip off like the tip of it and just kind of stick it in my
That's
gum.
That's actually what they did.
Yeah. It's the same thing with
coca
coca
leaves. Then take the rest
leaves.
of it and start drying it, make some cigarettes.
It's the same thing they do with coca leaves. I mean, coca leaves in Colombia are pretty much like tobacco down there, except
they get you high
well, not only they get you high, dude, but there's like truckers will like get a bag of coca leaves and chew on them.
Yeah,
chew on them to keep them awake.
Yeah,
because
people do that too.
Yeah. It's what they do, and same thing with tobacco up here. I mean, tobacco, you get that's why they always go with Skull. That's why so many truck drivers chewed Skull for the longest time, is because that high that you get from caffeine, or the nicotine.
I'd start like resurrecting people and everything.
Yeah,
and but the only problem is eventually you're gonna resurrect some people that's just not gonna help, but they're gonna try to take like food and stuff like. Oh, like hell no.
Yeah. The advantageous ones.
Yeah.
That's why you need to steer clear. You need to be wary of every person you bring back. That's something that I would do. And also, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with all this, but if they build up to a certain point with the scientific discoveries, I mean, because electricity is a possibility if you know how to make machinery, if you know how to properly.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna go back to the tool race at that point. You're gonna have to make tools to make tools to make tools to make tools,
and then
basically it's
like that creek they had. They could use a water wheel.
Yep.
They could also put gates like you set up in there for fish to
I
catch
like
every day.
I mean, traps are some of the easiest, most effective things. Now, you do have to build them, but you can build them pretty easy. If you got a section of the pond or the river that goes around this corner where the fish normally stop at, start gating off that area, so when they come off in there, all you have to do is raise it.
And all you really need are like rocks or like sticks.
Yeah, sticks.
There's another thing about this show, too.
What's that?
Is it just me, or was it just birds and people?
It seemed that way because the other animals were...
So that dog wasn't frozen.
No, the dogs, the other primates, which is weird because I figured if it went by, like something relative to one another.
I noticed that too, and I was like, why isn't it affecting all organic stuff?
Maybe it's only animals that have higher brain functions. I don't know, because birds do have higher brain functions than us. They do have the higher brain functions similar to us.
It's either that or some mad scientist dickbag somewhere had a machine with a dial on it and like was adjusting it, and he was like, all right, let's test it on birds first to see if it works, and he stoned all the birds first.
And here's the thing,
that's why they found those, and then he's like, all right, it works, people time.
He got the whole planet through walls, through everything, so it's not like a nuclear bomb.
Okay, so that being answered, that brings me into my other major problem I have right now with this. Is that they time skip so far forward. Maybe it's my lack of imagination. I can't see them figuring out what the hell actually happened, and that's the main thing that I want to know.
And honestly, I think at that point,
and I don't think that's the point of the show.
No, I think at this point, dude, you're not going to figure it out given the situation that you're in. I think if enough time goes by and they get to the point where not only do they have conventional things to help them live an everyday life, conventional things that allows them to not have to farm literally every day. Because keep in mind, dude, we went from a population in this country where 95% of the population was making food to now only less than 5% making the food. Yep. And in that time, there's been people who've become artisans, scientists, teachers.
Now we got machines that make the food.
Yeah, exactly.
And cultivating GMOs.
And the thing is, once you get to the point where, I think once they get to the point where not only is their survival guaranteed, and not only are they advancing civilization forward enough to the point of where they can comfortably sit back and ask the question, how and why did this happen? Yeah. I think then they'll get to it. But right now, I think their main thing.
Nature does take back over. Nature would take back over everything, but there's just certain things that won't corrode within 3,700 years. One, steel, like steel rooms, steel buildings, that won't corrode. It might collapse. It might tear down like concrete. Will kind of dissolve back into a stone. Everything, it's definitely gonna rust. But like that's not gonna. There's no way. That's not. That would take a billion years to biodegrade. You know.
Yeah.
If it's that thick, you know.
Rubber. So the thing is, I don't want to invest in this show if the entire show is just them rebuilding civilization after an inexplicable event, and then they happen to say that the inexplicable event was just everyone turned to stone randomly, because I'm immediately just like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm already like, honestly, like, I'm not going to lie, like, no offense to everybody who likes the show so far, but at the very beginning of the show, I was like, oh, that's what this is about? No offense, that's fucking stupid. But
well, it is, but
it's a really dumb first concept
to me, so I'm kind of intrigued a little bit. I will definitely watch a few more episodes for.
I'll give everything at least a couple episodes, so I'll give it one more. But I do have to say I'm not entirely sold on it yet.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it yet, but it seems interesting. I love the science aspect, and I like how they kind of break down certain stuff. It's definitely got comedy. I don't know. Is there gonna be like some magic stuff, some crazy magic stuff? See, that's where, like, if it goes too far.
To me, the whole thing that they base this on is the scientific method. That's the creator of this said that the scientific method is the backbone of this show.
Okay, and that's what I use a lot when it comes to breaking down stuff. Which is I like logic. I embrace logic. I embrace the scientific method. So that's why I guess I'm intrigued.
Well, like I said, dude, the whole thing is, I don't know where this is going to go, all I know is that right now, a lot of people say that this show is probably one of the best. There's actually an argument being made by some people out there that this should be shown in schools for scientific education.
Just to kind of
just to show
excitement of science and
applied
and
science, the methods that are put into it, and all the work that has gone into it in the past.
I'm not super literate on chemistry, so like if he starts to break it into a lot of different chemistry stuff, I don't know. Now I'm pretty good with elements. I can pretty much get into compositions with elements, but you get into chemistry, that's advanced element compositions, and that's like liquids and stuff like that.
That's the thing too for me is like if it's gonna start like teaching us some cool stuff that we can understand, then maybe I'll be kind of interested in it for that reason. If it starts to go too deep to the point where it's just beyond my current grasp, then I'll probably just be like, yeah.
I don't think they're gonna
I'm basically taking their word for
I don't
it
see him splitting atoms anytime soon.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
If he figures out how to split some atoms with a couple
But
copper wires,
it doesn't seem like they're going to go
right.
to the point that we probably won't be able to immediately kind of at least have an idea what they're talking about from this situation, anyways.
Well,
maybe later on.
I like it kind of
way
broke
into
it
the
down
series.
too. What they were doing was making stuff so that makes
it's simple
it easy to
so
follow.
far, but it depends on how quickly they advance, probably. Which my bet is since the guy that is with him is such a scientist to the point that he could count how many years and seconds had passed since they fucking got froze.
Well, he has an eidetic memory, so he's
what
been
I'm-
able to.
what I'm
My
betting
bet
is
is they're
everything.
going to advance a lot faster than you would expect two dudes to advance. Like, and he's
I'm
got a plan.
I'm
clearly.
betting that they're
advance
gonna resurrect
fast.
her, and then she's gonna be like the Eve, but she doesn't like him like that. And then it's gonna be like that kind of thing. Like
Either that, or they could go really dark with it, and they could actually. These two basically are
the last one.
still of a decent mind because of the weird way their minds already worked.
Oh yeah.
And
So
whereas she's just a normal person, they resurrect her, and she's fucking insane. She's just like, "Ah!" just screaming and won't
that's what I
stop
say. It's like,
screaming.
what about the people that lost limbs and shit? They're gonna come back and be like, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't even res them. I'd be like, yep.
No.
No, leave
Well,
them.
well, it's just like the
Better.
ones that, like we saw when the plane crashed. That head just came pop right there. I'm like, well,
No reason to de-stone that guy. He's fucking gone.
no, because
no helping
you
that guy.
de-stone that guy's head, all of a sudden that guy's head just
Well,
gonna be like,
I mean, you could keep his head in a closet somewhere, and if your civilization did advance way faster than ours has to the point that you get the Futurama heads and tanks, you can make him a head in a tank.
I could see that. That'd be pretty cool.
Your little head in the jar.
That'd be pretty funny.
Hey, what's up? Sorry it took you so long to bring back. It's just you were just a head, so
Yeah.
it took us a little
Like,
while.
how long have I been gone? It's like, currently it is the year 5821.
Kill me.
Kill me. Kill me. It's like we have.
Wait. We have total immersive VR now, and that you can totally take advantage of with just your mind.
Oh, and also, sir, if you want, we also have cybernetic bodies over here, so you can actually take full advantage
Bring me
and
back.
walk around.
Bring me back.
Exactly. I guarantee you.
It's like, yeah, I'll take the B model.
Yeah, I don't see them getting that far. Even though they're
No,
a big
no,
head
no.
start, they still got set way the fuck back.
Of course,
because
dude.
the engineers
They got sent back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, science alone can't fix everything. You have to have engineers and people
It's
willing
just-
to take that science and work it.
It's still an anime. I don't entirely think that they're going to take it 100% realistically.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's so far they would have died. But
Well, of course, not.
you got to bend the rules a little bit, or else it would
well,
be entertainment.
Yeah. Of course, not gonna be 100% realistic. I mean, everyone in the world got frozen to stone. I mean, that setup alone is kind of silly. But overall, I mean, I'm digging the science aspect, and I'm also digging all the stuff that they're doing with with the world. Like, we're seeing how the world has changed in some ways. Like, for instance, like, everything's back to being overgrown with forestation again. And we haven't seen any structures outside of the one that Senku made. But, yeah, I like this. I
thought it was pretty cool. I would definitely watch another episode.
Okay, well,
My whole thing on it is, like I said, I'll give anything, a
few-
couple episodes worth of a chance at least.
yeah.
But
It might make me change
I'm
my
not
mind,
immediately
but-
like, oh, dude, I'm sold. Like, I'm all in. Like, I'm not. I have a lot of problems with it so far,
Okay.
and like even some I haven't mentioned. Like, but we'll see where it goes. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll have to see how that all works out. But right now, everybody, I thank you all for recommending this. And also, thank you very much for tuning into this. And if you want to see more, you know what to do. Just let us know. And I guess until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Jacob.
And we will see you all in the next one, everybody. Peace out.